This video will explore the confusing and often painful experience of dealing with a narcissist. We will identify specific, observable behaviors to help you recognize if you are in a relationship with a narcissist, be it a romantic partner, family member, friend, or colleague. Our goal is to move beyond stereotypes and understand the core of the narcissistic personality, enabling you to gain clarity and make informed decisions. I am Dr. Eleanor Whitmore, a clinical psychologist with over 30 years of experience helping people navigate complex relational dynamics. A key trait of a narcissist is a grandiose sense of self-importance. This isn't mere arrogance, it's a deep-seated, unrealistic sense of superiority. They believe they are special and can only be understood by other high-status people. This belief isn't based on actual achievements, which they often exaggerate. They might embellish stories to appear more heroic or intelligent, and at work they'll take credit for successes while blaming others for failures. They need to be the center of attention, which can be confusing as they often appear charming and confident. However, their stories always revolve around their own triumphs, with little room for others. This grandiosity is a defense mechanism, a false self to hide deep-seated inadequacy and shame. This is why they are so sensitive to criticism. Any challenge to their self-image is a threat met with anger or rage. Life with a narcissist is a constant performance where others are merely supporting characters. For instance, a narcissistic father might boast about his son's achievements not from pride, but because he sees the son as an extension of himself. A narcissistic boss might steal a subordinate's idea without shame, feeling entitled to the best outcomes. This need to be the hero is exhausting and fosters a competitive, resentful environment where teamwork is impossible. Another core feature of a narcissist is their insatiable need for admiration and praise. This goes far beyond the normal human desire for appreciation. For a narcissist, admiration is like a drug. They need a constant supply of it to feel good about themselves. This is often referred to as narcissistic supply. They actively seek out people who will admire them, praise them, and tell them how wonderful they are. These relationships are entirely one-sided. The narcissist is not interested in the other person's needs, feelings, or desires. The other person exists solely to provide them with the admiration they crave. If the supply of admiration is cut off, the narcissist will often become enraged or manipulative. They might try to guilt-trip the other person into giving them the praise they need, or they might devalue and discard them, moving on to a new source of supply. This constant need for admiration is another manifestation of their fragile ego. They have no internal sense of self-worth, so they rely on external validation to feel good about themselves. Our self-esteem is like a leaky balloon that needs to be constantly inflated with the hot air of other people's praise. This is why they are so preoccupied with their public image, and they need to be seen as successful, powerful, and desirable at all times. They will go to great lengths to cultivate a perfect image on social media and in their social circles. But this image is a carefully constructed facade, and it can crumble at the slightest hint of criticism or disapproval. A narcissistic friend might constantly post pictures of their lavish vacations, their expensive possessions, and their beautiful family on social media. They are not sharing these moments out of a genuine desire to connect with others. They are curating a highlight reel of their life to elicit envy and admiration. They will spend hours crafting the perfect caption, choosing the perfect filter, and monitoring the number of likes and comments they receive. The validation they get from social media is a potent form of narcissistic supply. In a romantic relationship, a narcissistic partner might demand constant compliments on their appearance, their intelligence, or their sense of humor. They will become sullen and withdrawn if you fail to notice their new haircut or their new outfit. They will fish for compliments, asking leading questions like, "Don't you think I look good in this shirt?" Or, "Wasn't that a brilliant thing I said?" The relationship becomes a never-ending performance, with you as the adoring fan. You will feel like you are constantly auditioning for the role of their number one supporter, and you will be summarily dismissed if you fail to live up to their expectations. A profound lack of empathy is another hallmark of narcissism. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. It is the foundation of all healthy relationships. Narcissists, however, are severely deficient in this crucial human quality. They are unable to put themselves in other people's shoes and truly understand what they are feeling. This doesn't mean they are always cruel or malicious, although they can be. More often, they are simply oblivious to the emotional landscape of others. They are so focused on their own needs and desires that they are incapable of recognizing the needs and desires of those around them. For example, if you are going through a difficult time and you try to share your feelings with a narcissist, they will likely become bored or impatient. They might change the subject back to themselves, or they might offer you a simplistic, dismissive solution to your problem. They are not interested in your pain, they are only interested in how your pain is affecting them. This lack of empathy is what allows them to be so exploitative and manipulative. They can hurt people without feeling any guilt or remorse because they are unable to connect with the pain they are causing. They see other people as objects, as tools to be used for their own gratification. This is one of the most damaging aspects of being in a relationship with a narcissist. You will constantly feel unseen, unheard, and invalidated. Your feelings will be dismissed, your needs will be ignored, and you will be left feeling emotionally starved and alone. For Deshare, imagine you have just lost your job and you turn to your narcissistic partner for comfort and support. Instead of offering a listening ear and a shoulder to cry on, they might say something like, "Well, now you'll have more time to focus on me," or "Don't worry, I'm sure you'll find something soon. Now, can we talk about my promotion?" They are incapable of providing genuine emotional support because they are unable to step outside of their own self-interest. In a family setting, a narcissistic mother might be unable to comfort her crying child. She might see the child's distress as an inconvenience, a disruption to her own peace and quiet. She might tell the child to stop being so dramatic or pull yourself together. The child learns from a very young age that their feelings don't matter, that their needs are a burden. This can have a devastating impact on a child's emotional development, leading to a lifetime of insecurity and self-doubt. A pervasive sense of entitlement is another key feature of the narcissistic personality. This is the belief that they are owed special treatment and that the world should revolve around them. They expect to be catered to, and they believe that their needs and desires should always come first. This sense of entitlement is not based on any real merit or achievement. It is an inherent belief that they are simply better than everyone else and therefore deserve more. They expect automatic compliance with their wishes and demands. They will become angry and indignant if their expectations are not met. For example, they might expect to be given the best table in a restaurant even if they don't have a reservation. They might expect their partner to drop everything to attend to their needs, regardless of what their partner might be doing. They have a complete disregard for the rules and social norms that apply to everyone else. They believe they are above the law, and they will often bend or break the rules to get what they want. This sense of entitlement can be incredibly frustrating and draining for the people in their lives. You will find yourself constantly walking on eggshells, trying to anticipate their needs and avoid their wrath. You will feel like you are always giving and never receiving, and the relationship will be a one-way street, with all the traffic flowing in the narcissist direction. A narcissistic employee might feel that they are too good for certain tasks, that they are above doing the grunt work. They might delegate their responsibilities to others while taking credit for their accomplishments. They might complain about their workload, even if they are doing less than everyone else. They believe they are destined for great things, and they are not going to let something as trivial as hard work get in their way. In a friendship, a narcissistic friend might expect you to be available to them 24/7. They will call you at all hours of the day and night, expecting you to drop everything to listen to their problems. But when you need a friend, they will be nowhere to be found. They will have a convenient excuse, a prior commitment, or a sudden illness. The friendship is all about them, and you are just a supporting character in their drama. The tendency to exploit others is a direct consequence of the narcissist's lack of empathy and sense of entitlement. They see other people as a means to an end, as instruments to be used for their own benefit. They will not hesitate to take advantage of others to get what they want, whether it is money, status, or admiration. This exploitation can be subtle or overt. It can range from borrowing money and never paying it back, to using their charm and charisma to manipulate people into doing their bidding. They are masters of manipulation, and they will use a variety of tactics to control and exploit the people in their lives. They might use flattery and charm to win you over, only to turn on you once they have gotten what they want. They might use guilt and shame to make you feel responsible for their happiness. They might use gaslighting to make you doubt your own perceptions and sanity. They are skilled at playing the victim, and they will often portray themselves as the injured party, even when they are the ones who have caused the harm. This can be incredibly confusing and disorienting. You may find yourself questioning your own reality, wondering if you are the one who is being unreasonable. This is a common experience for people who are in a relationship with a narcissist. They are experts at turning the tables and making you feel like you are the one who is at fault. A narcissistic business partner might convince you to invest your life savings in a risky venture, promising you a huge return on your investment. They will use their charm and their powers of persuasion to make you believe that you are on the verge of a financial windfall. But when the venture fails, they will blame you for your naivety and your poor judgment. They will walk away from the wreckage without a scratch, leaving you to pick up the pieces of your shattered financial future. In a romantic relationship, a narcissistic partner might use their sexuality to control and manipulate you. They might withhold affection to punish you, or they might use sex to get what they want. They will make you feel like you are the most desirable person in the world, only to discard you when they have grown tired of you. They are emotional vampires, sucking the life and vitality out of their victims, leaving them feeling empty and depleted. Arrogant and haughty behavior is another common trait of a narcissist. When they have a condescending and patronizing attitude towards others, and they often treat people with disdain. They believe they are superior to everyone else, and they are not afraid to show it. They will often interrupt conversations, talk down to people, and dismiss their opinions and ideas. They have a need to feel important, and they will often put others down to lift themselves up. This can be very damaging to your self-esteem. You may start to believe that you are not good enough, that your opinions don't matter, and that you are not worthy of respect. The narcissist's arrogance is a defense mechanism, a way of protecting their fragile ego. By demeaning others, they are able to maintain their sense of superiority and control. They are deeply insecure, and their arrogance is a mask that they wear to hide their feelings of inadequacy. A narcissistic professor might belittle a student in front of the entire class for asking a stupid question. They will use their position of authority to humiliate and intimidate the student, making an example of them for anyone who dares to challenge their intellectual superiority. They will create a climate of fear in the classroom where students are afraid to speak up for fear of being ridiculed. In a social setting, a narcissistic acquaintance might make a snide remark about your clothing, your car, or your home. They will do it with a smile on their face as if they are just making a harmless observation. But the underlying message is clear: I am better than you. They are constantly sizing people up, looking for weaknesses to exploit. They are social predators, and they will pounce on any sign of vulnerability. Finally, one of the most telling signs of a narcissist is their extreme sensitivity to criticism. Despite their outward appearance of confidence and self-assurance, they are incredibly fragile on the inside. They are unable to handle any form of criticism, no matter how constructive or well-intentioned it may be. Any perceived slight or challenge to their authority will be met with a disproportionate amount of anger and rage. They will often lash out at the person who has criticized them, demeaning them and trying to discredit them. They are unable to take responsibility for their mistakes, and they will always find a way to blame someone else. This is because their entire sense of self is built on a foundation of lies and exaggerations. Any criticism threatens to expose the truth, and they will do whatever it takes to protect their fragile ego. This can make it impossible to have a healthy, honest conversation with a narcissist. You will find yourself walking on eggshells, afraid to say anything that might be perceived as a criticism. This is a very lonely and isolating experience. If you try to give a narcissistic employee some constructive feedback on their performance, they will likely become defensive and hostile. They will deny that they have done anything wrong, and they will accuse you of being a micromanager or a bully. They will try to turn the tables on you, making you feel like you are the one who is being unreasonable. They might even file a complaint against you with human resources, claiming that you are creating a hostile work environment. In a romantic relationship, if you try to express your dissatisfaction with your narcissistic partner's behavior, they will likely fly into a rage. They will accuse you of being ungrateful, demanding, or crazy. They will bring up all of your past mistakes, real or imagined, to deflect from their own shortcomings. They will never apologize, and they will never admit that they have done anything wrong. The conversation will go around in circles, and you will be left feeling frustrated, exhausted, and defeated. In conclusion, identifying a narcissist is not about diagnosing them with a personality disorder. It is about recognizing a pattern of behavior that is damaging to your emotional well-being. If you are in a relationship with someone who consistently exhibits a grandiose sense of self-importance, a constant need for admiration, a lack of empathy, a sense of entitlement, a tendency to exploit others, arrogant and haughty behavior, and an extreme sensitivity to criticism, you are likely dealing with a narcissist. It is important to remember that you are not alone and there is help available. If you recognize these patterns in your own life, I encourage you to seek professional help from a therapist who has experience in dealing with narcissistic abuse. For more information on this topic, I invite you to watch our next video, where we will discuss the different types of narcissists and how to protect yourself from their manipulation.